The ocean is a vastly unexplored part of our world, and naturally, some of the strangest things exist in its deepest parts. And one of them is the Mariana Trench. This place isn't just deep, it's the deepest known part of the ocean, plunging nearly 36,000 feet into an abyss so dark and pressurized that it's more alien than familiar. Down here, sunlight doesn't exist. The pressure could crush a human like a tin can, and creatures have evolved in ways that simply defy logic. For years, scientists have sent probes and submersibles to unlock its secrets, and what they've found is nothing short of terrifying. From a fish that looks straight from Hellboy to radioactive carbon from nuclear explosions, here are 15 disconcerting discoveries found in this strangest part of our ocean. And trust us, once you look at them, you'll be glad that they are down there. Number 15. The deep-sea anglerfish. The first thing we want to say about this beauty is that it's cute. We've never seen anything quite like it. It's just too beautiful. What do you think? A face only a mother could love, if that mother were legally blind. There are thousands of types of anglerfish, but this Mariana Trench queen is something special. It lives over a mile below the surface in a world of eternal darkness, where the pressure could turn a human into jelly. And yet, it thrives. Armed with a built-in fishing rod dangling from its forehead, luring in prey with an eerie glow. Once something gets too close, let's say game over. Its mouth snaps shut, revealing rows of nightmarish teeth, and its stomach stretches like elastic, letting it swallow creatures almost as big as itself. And romance? Well, they don't like. The male is basically a tiny parasite that bites onto the female, fuses with her body, and spends the rest of his life as a glorified reproductive organ, just like a poopy pie pum. Number 14. Supergiant amphipods. Deep-sea creatures are usually small. The pressure, lack of food, and overall harsh conditions mean there's just not enough energy to support anything big. It's logical. But then scientists found this. In the Mariana Trench, researchers discovered supergiant amphipods, shrimpy scavengers that are usually the size of a fingernail. But these? Well, nearly a foot long. Imagine a shrimp the size of a cat. Scientists first spotted these oversized crustaceans in 2012 when they pulled up a deep-sea trap, and let's just say they weren't expecting these monsters. The reason behind their freakish size. Scientists suspect it's due to deep-sea gigantism, a phenomenon where some creatures actually get bigger in cold, high-pressure environments. But no one really knows for sure. The ocean has always been full of surprises, and if we're finding cat-sized shrimp, what else is lurking down there just waiting to give us nightmares? Number 13. The unidentified tentacle. In 2021, researchers scanning the ocean floor of the Mariana Trench saw something that made them do a double take. It wasn't a fish, it wasn't a shark, it wasn't even a full animal, it was just a tentacle. A very long tentacle, stretching out of the darkness, with no visible body attached. Deep-sea biologist Dr. Alan Jameson reviewed the footage and admitted, nobody knows what it belonged to. The best guess? It might have been an unknown species of big-fin squid, which have ridiculously long, spindly arms that can stretch over 20 feet. But here's the thing. These squids are so rare that fewer than 20 sightings have ever been recorded, and even those were blurry. There's no proof that's what this was, meaning we may have just glimpsed something in the Mariana Trench that we still haven't identified. Whatever it was big. Number 12. Plastic-eating microbes. Microbes might not sound as exciting as deep-sea monsters, but hear us out. Scientists just found bacteria at the bottom of the Mariana Trench that eats plastic. While humanity has been trashing the ocean for decades, nature might already be working on a cleanup plan. These deep-sea microbes, thriving in crushing darkness with barely any food, have evolved to break down toxic chemicals, including oil and plastic waste. Basically, they're tiny, invisible recyclers living in one of the most extreme environments on Earth. Some researchers think studying them could not only help with ocean pollution, but even give us clues about how life started on Earth, or how it could exist on other planets. Because if a microscopic life form can survive in the Mariana Trench, a place with insane pressure, no sunlight, and almost nothing to eat, who's to say we won't find something similar in the alien oceans of Europa? Anything can be possible. Number 11. Human debris. You'd think that the deepest part of the ocean, an almost unreachable void, untouched by sunlight and barely explored by humans, would be free from pollution. But no, turns out we've managed to trash even the Mariana Trench. When submersibles made it down to Challenger Deep, the trench's lowest point, one of the first things they saw? A plastic bag. That's right. 36,000 feet below the surface, deeper than Mount Everest is tall, our garbage is just floating around. Scientists have also found candy wrappers, aluminum cans, and even an old beer bottle because apparently humans can't go anywhere without leaving behind trash. But here's the really concerning part. Microplastics have already been found inside deep-sea creatures. That means this pollution isn't just sitting there, it's working its way into the food chain. If anything, this should be a wake-up call. If we can pollute even the most isolated place on Earth, what haven't we ruined? Number 10. Radioactive carbon. Back in the 1950s and 60s, the world was busy setting off nuclear bombs like it was a summer fireworks show, except those explosions didn't just vanish. The fallout made its way into the land, air, and somehow, even the deepest parts of the ocean. When researchers analyzed deep-sea crustaceans from the Mariana Trench, they found something alarming: high levels of carbon-14, a radioactive isotope released by nuclear explosions. Dr. Ning Wang, who led a study on this, explained that bomb carbon had seeped into the deepest marine ecosystems, proving that humanity's mess reaches even the most isolated parts of Earth. And the weirdest part? It got there fast. Scientists found radioactive carbon in deep-sea life just decades after the bomb tests, meaning there's some kind of biological conveyor belt rapidly carrying surface contaminants straight to the ocean floor. In simple words, even the most extreme, untouched corners of the planet aren't safe from us. Number 9. Eurythenes plasticus. In 2020, marine biologists discovered a brand new species of amphipod, those tiny, shrimp-like scavengers that roam the ocean floor. But instead of celebrating, they gave it a name that summed up the state of our planet: Eurythenes plasticus. Why? Because when scientists analyzed its body, they found plastic inside it. That's right. This little guy, living in one of the most remote and extreme environments on Earth, had already been contaminated by human pollution like others. Researchers found traces of polyethylene terephthalate, the same plastic used in water bottles and food packaging. Meaning, even in the deepest parts of the ocean, plastic has entered the food chain. The discovery, made by Newcastle University, was a sobering reminder that our garbage is literally everywhere. If creatures in the Mariana Trench are already eating plastic, what does that say about the future of marine life? Or, for that matter, our food supply? Number 8. New deep-sea species. The Mariana Trench is basically Earth's final boss, a deep, hostile void that swallows light, crushes anything unprepared, and holds secrets that make sci-fi writers jealous. So when scientists send down submersibles, they never come back empty-handed. On one recent expedition, researchers discovered over 100 brand new species. That's right, creatures no human had ever documented before, just casually vibing in the ocean's deepest, most inhospitable zone. Some of these finds were straight-up bizarre. Massive glass sponges that look like haunted underwater chandeliers, deep-sea corals with alien-like structures. And then there's the squat lobster, a creepy, spindly-limbed crustacean with bugged-out eyes and a spiky shell that screams, "I belong in a horror movie." Lead scientist Aaron Easton admitted they were blown away, finding a new species practically every few meters. It makes you wonder, if we're still discovering creatures now, how many more are out there, watching from the abyss? Number 7. Faceless cusk eel. Back in 2017, Australian researchers were dragging a net through the deep waters near the Mariana Trench when they pulled up something unsettling. No eyes, no visible mouth, just a smooth, pale body with a weird, wrinkled texture that looked like it had been designed by a sleep-deprived horror artist. Scientists weren't even sure what they were looking at, but after some examination, they realized it was a species of cusk eel that hadn't been seen in over a century. Officially called Typhlonus nasus, aka the faceless cusk eel, this deep-sea oddity does have a mouth. It's just not where you'd expect. Instead of being on its face, which, let's be real, it doesn't have, the mouth is located on the underside of its body. It also has no eyes because, well, when you live 13,000 feet deep in complete darkness, eyesight is basically useless. Instead, it hunts using vibrations and chemical signals. Deep-sea horror at its finest. Number 6. Alien sounds. Back in 2014, scientists dropped recording equipment deep into the Mariana Trench, expecting the usual underwater ambiance, bubbling currents, distant whale calls, maybe the occasional submarine passing by. Instead, they picked up something that left them seriously unsettled. A bizarre 3-second noise echoed through the abyss, starting as a low, eerie moan before twisting into a high-pitched metallic screech. It wasn't any ocean static, it had a clear pattern. Something down there was making it on purpose. Naturally, the internet went full X-Files. Theories ranged from deep-sea cryptids to alien signals to secret military tech. And for a while, no one had a clue. But after years of analysis, researchers finally cracked the mystery. It was a never-before-documented call from a minke whale, now called the Western Pacific biotwang. Even so, its unique frequency still puzzles marine experts, and considering how deep it was recorded, it makes you wonder, what else is down there, making sounds we still can't explain? Number 5. Slime blobs. Deep in the Mariana Trench, there's something that isn't a fish, isn't a squid, and honestly, doesn't even look like it should be alive. Meet the xenophyophore, a deep-sea amoeba the size of your palm. One single cell that big. These things are basically living slime blobs, absorbing particles from their environment and building their outer shells out of whatever's floating around. Lead, uranium, mercury. If it's toxic, these guys are probably covered in it. Scientists even call them living biohazards, but they might also be one of the best pollution detectors in the deep sea. Their ability to survive in extreme environments makes them key players in deep-sea ecosystems, but they're also basically indestructible. Studies show that even if you cut one apart, it can pull itself back together, like some kind of deep-sea version of The Thing. Number 4. Telescope octopus. If deep-sea creatures had a stealth mode, the telescope octopus would be the ultimate escape artist. This rare, almost invisible octopus drifts through the pitch-black waters of the deep, its near-transparent body making it look like a floating ghost. But its real party trick? Those tubular, rotating eyes, giving it a nearly 360-degree field of vision, perfect for spotting predators and prey in the abyss. Unlike most octopuses, this eerie little drifter doesn't crawl along the ocean floor. Instead, it floats vertically like a deep-sea specter, probably as a camouflage tactic. First documented in 1885, it's still a mystery in many ways, with scientists unsure how it hunts, evades predators, or even how many exist. Found at depths of over 6,500 feet, the telescope octopus remains one of the most elusive and bizarre creatures haunting the ocean's darkest corners. Number 3. Zombie worms. Meet Osidax, better known as the zombie worm. Because what's cooler than a worm that dissolves bones to get to the fat inside? These deep-sea scavengers latch onto whale carcasses, secreting acid to break down solid bone, then using symbiotic bacteria to turn bone proteins into food. Basically, they're the ocean's cleanup crew with a disturbingly metal way of feeding. And the weirdness doesn't stop there. Female zombie worms can grow up to 2 inches long, but the males, they're microscopic and live inside the females, basically as tiny, useless roommates who exist only for reproduction. Found as deep as 10,000 feet, these worms play a crucial role in recycling whale remains, ensuring nothing goes to waste in the deep-sea ecosystem. It's creepy, it's fascinating, and honestly, it's the closest thing to actual zombies we've got under the ocean. Number 2, a new virus. As if the Mariana Trench wasn't already home to some of the strangest life on Earth, scientists just found something new lurking nearly 29,000 feet down. A virus. Yeah, you read that right. In September 2023, Chinese researchers discovered VB_HMY_H4907, a bacteriophage that infects bacteria. This makes it the deepest known virus ever found in the ocean. Now, before you start worrying about deep-sea pandemics, bacteriophages aren't harmful to humans. They only attack bacteria. But their discovery at this extreme depth proves that even in the most extreme environments on Earth, viruses are thriving. Scientists believe studying it could unlock secrets about how life can exist in extreme conditions, maybe even on other planets. Number 1, the Brownsnout spookfish. If deep-sea creatures had superpowers, the Brownsnout spookfish, Dolichopteryx longypes, would be rocking X-ray vision. Found in the depths of the Mariana Trench, this eerie-looking fish has a transparent head and tubular eyes. But here's the wild part. Instead of just seeing straight ahead, it can look both upwards and sideways at the same time. Its eyes have a mirror-like structure that reflects and enhances faint light, helping it detect movement in the pitch-black ocean. This makes it one of the few vertebrates on Earth that uses mirrors instead of lenses to see. First discovered in 2008, the spookfish lurks at depths of 0.6 to 1.2 miles, where light is almost non-existent. Its unique vision gives it an edge in spotting predators and prey in the abyss. Honestly, if there's ever a real-life alien fish, this one might just be it. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.